Hello and welcome back to Sustainable Teacher. If it is your first time here, my name is Leticia and I'm glad to meet you. And if you've been here before, I'm happy to see you again. In today's video, we are going to finish Unit 4 talking about the endocrine system because it's another system that will coordinate answers to stimulus or stimuli in our body, but they will be focused in different type of stimulus and answer, as we will see later. So if this video sounds interesting to you, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. The endocrine system is the set of glands in our body that will secrete hormones to the blood. Okay? The objective is to send messages to different organs in our body to perform actions as a result to a previous stimulus. In the coordination of information and answers, we have two systems working. One is the nervous system that we talked 2 videos ago, and the other one is the endocrine system. The nervous system will focus mainly, as I said in previous videos, they will focus on external stimuli, and the endocrine system will focus on internal stimuli, so things that are happening inside our body. Usually, the answers in the nervous system are going to be through the locomotor system, and they are going to be fast. Okay. In the case of the endocrine system, almost every hormone will go to the blood, and the answer will be slow and for a long time. In the case of the nervous system, the answer is going to be short. Okay, so fast and short to external stimulus, long and slow and long to internal stimulus. So that's the main difference between the coordination of the nervous system and the endocrine system. That is the one that we will learn about today. So the endocrine system is formed by a group of glands, a set of glands. The main gland is called hypophysis or pituitary. They are synonyms, these names, okay? You will see them, both them in the slides, also in the book. After the pituitary, we have other hormones that work independently, but in the last level, they are all controlled by the pituitary or hypophysis. Which glands are these? We have the thyroid, which is in the neck. I was going to say in the knee. Oh my god.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
In the neck. The parathyroid, which is around the thyroid, also in the neck. Adrenal glands, which are on top of the kidneys. Pancreas, next to the liver, right? Ovaries and testicle, which are in the reproductory systems in humans, okay? So all hormones will be secreted by one gland that in the end is controlled by the pituitary or hypophysis, and in a last level, actually, the hypophysis or pituitary gland is controlled by the brain, specifically by the hypothalamus. So the control will be hypothalamus on the top, then hypophysis or pituitary, then the other glands. The pancreas is quite a bit alone, not too much coordinated by the hypophysis. The other glands are more or less related and controlled by the hypophysis or pituitary. And how does it work in any case, in any type of glands and hormone? There is always a feedback system. Okay, we will do the example with the pancreas because it is independent. And I think you know it very well. So we have the pancreas secretes insulin. Insulin is to regulate sugar levels in blood, right? So we will have a stimulus, which is we have eaten and now we have high sugar levels in blood. So this is the stimulus, the alteration of the balance in blood, okay? So as a consequence of this alteration of the sugar level, the pancreas will start secreting insulin. Insulin will be released in the bloodstream and they will remove, in the end, the molecules will remove the sugar from blood. Once there is no more sugar, or the sugar level is okay, is enough in blood, a signal will be again sent to the pancreas. The signal will be no more sugar in blood. So the pancreas will stop producing insulin and until the next time we eat. So this is always the objective. We have an alteration in the balance of different levels in the organism. We will activate one gland that will produce a hormone that will regulate this. We will send the signal that it is already correct and regulated, is balanced again, so the hormone will stop being secreted by the gland, and that's the end. This is always the feedback system. And we can say that this system, in the last instance, is always regulated by the hypophysis or pituitary gland. For who? For the adrenal glands, those in top of the kidneys, for the thyroid and also parathyroid glands, for all the reproductory glands, and also the hypophysis has some hormones that belong specifically to the hypophysis, like the ones from of growth, some related with giving birth in mammals also. So we will see now in a table one by one, okay? So let's start with the pituitary gland, because this is the main one. It has this funny shape, but it's not related with any of the male reproductive system. It's just the shape, okay? So which hormones are secreted in the pituitary or hypophysis? We have the growth hormone. It will stimulate growth in children, okay? When we have the antidiuretic hormone related with the production of urine, or not producing urine, okay? The gonadotropins, the FSH and the LH, which are hormones related with the follicles and luteus bodies in the ovulation, okay? Also, they will regulate the menstruation cycle. The hormone that will stimulate the thyroid, okay, so that's why it is controlled. Then, as I said, the oxytocin related with giving birth in women, and prolactin, which will be activated after giving birth, okay? These are all hormones from the pituitary gland. After this, as you can see, there are some reproductive hormones that will control the reproductive glands. We have the hormone to control the adrenal glands, and we have the hormone to control the thyroid gland. So we will learn now about all these other glands that in the last level are controlled by the hypophysis or pituitary gland. And after this, the hypothalamus, as I have been saying all the time. So the thyroid, which is located in the neck, okay, is a hormone that produces different type of thyroxine, and these variants of thyroxines are related with general metabolism in body, okay? So the use that we will do with the energy, with the nutrients in our body, etc. The parathyroid is gonna be related with the metabolism of calcium, in how much calcium we will have in blood and bone formation, okay? Then the adrenal glands, which are like those cones on top of the kidneys, they will secrete hormones related with stress and body activation when the body is in survival mode or in a stressful situation. So we have adrenaline and cortisol. Cortisol is the hormone that maintains us in alert mode. In those moments of you get scared and you get afraid, is the cortisol, that the hormone that will prepare your body to make to face this situation, okay? And then pancreas, we have a pair of hormones that always work in an antagonist way. We have the insulin and the glucagon. The insulin is the one in charge of removing sugar from blood. Okay, so if we have high sugar levels in blood, insulin will be secreted to do that. And the glucagon is the opposite, will increase the sugar levels in blood, because it's not having or not having sugar, it's just having a good balance. So both hormones will make sure that we have the right level of sugar in blood. And finally, the ovaries and the testicle have some of the hormones, because if you remember, we have some of them directly in the hypophysis or pituitary gland, have some of the hormones related with reproduction, sexual attributes in men and women, reproductive cycles, etc. And specifically in women, we will have estrogens and progesterone, okay? And in men, we will have testosterone. It doesn't mean that men don't have any level of progesterone, and women, we don't have testosterone. Both women and men will have testosterone or progesterone, but the levels are inverted, are switched. So men will have more testosterone than women, and women will have more progesterone than testosterone, okay? So that's the difference. And they will relate it, as I said, with all the processes in the reproductive system. That is going to be the next 3-4 videos that we will have for the next unit. So just to finish, some about health in the endocrine system. Always healthy habits, eating properly, sleeping properly, don't consuming substances, etc., etc., will ensure that we have good and healthy endocrine system. And I will give you some illnesses that are typical from the endocrine system that you may know, just to finish. Usually the problem with the endocrine system is that the endocrine system will malfunction in two ways. Or they will produce more hormones than expected, or less hormones than expected. If it is more hormones, we will call this hyperfunctioning. Very typical hyperthyroidism, when we produce more thyroxine than expected. And hypofunction, or in the case of thyroid, hypothyroidism, is when we produce less thyroxine than expected. So it's typical from women, it could also happen in men. Women with hyperthyroidism will have like a faster metabolism, they will be more active, they will be thinner usually. And women with hypothyroidism, they will be always tired, the metabolism is gonna be really slow, they will have a tendency to get fat, and it's all related with the thyroxine, because the thyroxine is the one that controls the metabolism, if you remember. And some diseases apart from hypo and hyperthyroidism are gigantism or dwarfism, related with the growth hormone, growth hormone, right? And diabetes related with the insulin. Okay, so this is the end of the video. I know that this has a lot of new content, new words, weird words, really scientific technical vocabulary. If you have any doubt, please leave them in the comments. And of course, see you soon.